Divorce happens. In fact, it happens to almost 50% of first marriages. So let's talk about it. Welcome to Divorce Happens, a podcast to educate, inspire, support, and yes, make you laugh through divorce and beyond so that you can start fresh on the next phase of your journey. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh.
You get divorced. You get divorced.
Getting divorced?
I'm getting a divorce.
You're getting a divorce.
Because she's getting a divorce.
So what if I get divorced?
Hello. Welcome back to Divorce Happens, the podcast where we support people before, during, and after divorce with education, inspiration, and a little bit of laughter. Because as we know, divorce happens and then you start fresh. We're here with one of our old friends. I'm going to call her Magalie René, and she is going to talk to us about what she learned from divorce. So can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Magalie René. I am the CEO of Workplace Catalyst, and I call myself a reinvention architect because that is my specialty, is reinventing myself over and over again, personally and business-wise, and then supporting other people and doing the same and making sure that they're living the life that they love.
Oh, I love that so much. We were joking before we got on recording that you were one of our very first podcast guests ever. And now we have a whole podcast network. So that just goes to show you how much time has gone by. So you have gone through multiple divorces, if I'm not wrong.
I have.
And so I would love to hear, what are the things you learned from your divorces?
Okay. So I love this question. It is difficult and challenging to a degree to kind of admit that you've had more than one divorce, right? But I think what I've learned is first and foremost, there's no right or wrong way to live your life. And that the most important thing is that you are living a life and being a person you can be proud of. You can wake up and look in the mirror every day and love and respect yourself. And so that's the first lesson I learned, was to really deepen my own sense of self-love and acceptance, so that whatever it is that occurs, whatever mistakes or lessons that you learn, or mistakes that happen, I can really just appreciate and accept who I am. So that was the first thing: self-acceptance, self-love.
Love that. Okay, second thing.
I think the second thing that I've learned is that reinvention is a beautiful journey. It is amazing. And when you're in the thick of it and in the hard parts, when you don't know what's going to happen in the future, you can't kind of see your way through it, right? You don't know what's going to happen next. You're just in the depression, the sadness, maybe the grief, maybe the loss, or you're just in confusion, just not knowing what you're supposed to be doing, what is going to lead you where you want to go. All of those moments of challenge, right? What do they call them? The dark nights of the soul. I've learned that when you're in those moments, just know that there is a reason for it. So reinvention, even though it feels really challenging, is absolutely bringing you where you're meant to go. It is, and all those hard parts are the transformation that your soul needs to get to that next level of joy, of happiness, of contentment, of fulfillment, right? And that looks like a lot of different things, and it looks a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. But for me, I think after being through 2 divorces and leaving corporate and all these reinventions in my life, I've learned that on the other side of that hard, difficult path is something amazing. And it's always better than I can imagine. I could never have written the book. If I had seen it, I think I would have written something completely different. So just know that whatever you're going through, on the other side is something beyond what you can imagine would be good. So that's the second thing that I learned.
Amazing. I could literally listen to you speak all day. You're just the most motivational person. I'm sitting here yes, just keep talking. Okay, what's the third thing that you learned?
Let's see. I did this ad hoc, so I haven't even thought this through.
That's okay.
So
it's our favorite.
What is the third thing that I learned? What I learned is that there's a beautiful combination of authenticity and grace. So there's just this beautiful intersection of when you decide to be real and honest and true, both to yourself and to others, meaning you're holding your boundaries, meaning you're speaking your mind, you're not holding resentments and annoyances, you're like speaking them and sharing them. So being true to yourself inside of you, what do you want? What's the life that you want to create? Also externally, how you be with other people, that authenticity can still happen gracefully. So you can still learn how to communicate in such a way and be in such a way that it doesn't have to feel like you're just middle finger to the world, right? Like
Yeah.
middle finger to the exes, middle finger to the
Yep.
people coming in your life,
Yep.
middle finger to the friends that don't live up to expectations. You don't have to be in this sort of like, that authenticity doesn't have to be harsh and bitter and
Right.
resentful and whatever.
I love that.
That it can just flow and it can be graceful and you can still be your authentic self and be respected and loved.
I love that for so many reasons. One is that I think especially with divorce, people expect you to be angry, right? They expect you like, "Oh, I hate my ex." But I that is giving people a permission slip to say, "No, you don't actually need to be angry," which is something we talk about all the time. It's like you can actually just focus on your fresh start and moving forward. Like you don't really need to look behind that rearview mirror, which I know is something you talk about a lot. Um, Okay, so where can people find you? What is going on? What are you up to these days?
I just wanted to say one thing before we
Yes.
wrap. Think if I can.
Yes, of course.
Okay, the one thing I wanted to say is that I don't want to pretend like I wasn't angry. Okay, like at some point, at many points, I still experience anger.
Yep.
But it's just that I like use it. I move through it. I feel it. I let it come up. I talk about it if I need to. And then I move through it. So I just don't want to sound like I'm bypassing the difficult parts of getting through divorce, right? Like
Yep.
you're not going to not be pissed if things went down that you're not okay with. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to have that
And I
caveat.
think of
Yeah.
course, and I think that what you do so beautifully though is that transformation piece, right? So, yes, nobody is going to get out of divorce. Even the most amicable divorce is going to be angry, right? But it's what you do with that anger, like you said, right? It's like processing it, dancing it out, feeling, journaling, talking to people, or are you going to let it sit and stew, right? And it's that bridge, that transformation is the processing part, which is why you are glowing today, right? Like you have gone through all of this stuff. You can talk about this so openly. But yeah, of course, everybody feels anger. And I think it would be weird if you weren't angry, maybe during divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Not that there's a right or a wrong way to do it, but I would say most people are angry during divorce. But like I always say, the divorce process is shitty, right? Nobody likes the divorce process. And healing is hard, but the other side is where you find yourself again,
Yeah.
right? And so and like nobody likes a legal process. Like nobody wants to like have to take inventory of all their stuff. Like that's not fun, but it's just part of the transformation phase. So I love all of that so much. So tell us what's going on with you now.
So right now I am so what do I do? I'm a corporate speaker, so a keynote speaker generally around reinvention, compassionate leadership, and confidence. And I also work directly with women who are in the middle of a transition, a life transition. They're starting over for whatever reason, career or personal, right? Love relationships that have ended. Maybe you're moving across country. So that's like my happy place. My
Mhm.
happiest place is working with women who are reinventing themselves. And you can find me on Instagram. It's Magalie_René. And I have some guides to support you with how to have magnetic language so that you can communicate in a way that gains respect without being aggressive and without feeling uncomfortable in yourself. Oh my gosh, am I being too mean or whatever might come up for you? I have that. And then you can also decide for yourself, if you're reinventing, what stage of reinvention are you in? Because there are so many different elements of it. And part of what I do is really support people with moving through the stages. And when you know which stage you're in, then you know what you need and what's going to get you to the other side quicker. So you don't have to spend years and years and years figuring it all out, right? Without guidance. So you can find me on Instagram mainly. And then, of course, on LinkedIn.
Amazing. And when you say years and years, for some people it really is years and years that they're trying to figure this out. Yeah. Yeah, and then that's frustrating, and they lose a lot of time.
Yep.
So you need to go.
I did. It took
Yeah.
me years to figure out what I wanted to do with myself after my divorce, to change my career, determine what kind of career was even meant for me. I did end up being an entrepreneur, and that's all great. But like, it was really tough trying to put the pieces together kind of alone. That's why I love what you guys do too, because you're just giving people a tool, right? The more tools
Mhm.
we have,
Yeah.
the better equipped we are to navigate these really challenging times. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and you have to know people who have gone through it because that's gonna become your guidebook, so you
that's
do that
that part.
beautifully for people, yes. Okay, so before we let you go, if somebody's listening to this going through a divorce or considering divorce, what would be some words of encouragement that you could leave them with?
There is no wrong or right way to do this. Be gentle with yourself. And, if you're in a situation where you're hearing negative things being said about you or to you, don't be an added element of that. Don't be the person that's also abusing yourself by being hard on yourself. Really, just the more gentle, the more loving, the more kind you are with yourself, the more easily you will move through this and actually grow through this. So that's what I have to leave you all with.
I love that. I love that. That's that whole, like, adage of, like, you don't need to shame yourself on top of everything else that you're feeling, right? I love that. Well, it is such a delight to see you. You look amazing. Your energy is amazing as always. And like I said, I could literally, I mean, I said this to you when I met you, and I'm going to keep saying it. You're going to be on big stages across the world someday, and I'm going to sit there in the audience and say, I knew her when. So I'm
Yes,
just,
it's already happening.
I know I love it. I love it. And you look the part. You're just walking into that. So if anybody needs a confidence boost, you know where to go. Thank you, friend. You are the best.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Divorce Happens is produced by Fresh Starts Registry, the only divorce registry platform for everything you need to begin again, including home items, hype team, and everything in between. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh. We're here to support you before, during, and after divorce. Head to freshstartsregistry.com for more info.